murder is back on the table. And a romantic thriller that's going to leave people pissy is going to happen. Something maybe attacking this Sagittarius energy that is very royal. But hey, you got to appreciate the good and the bad, because it's all going to work out for everyone's highest divine purpose. Oh my gosh, what's about to happen? Hi, the TAKful Creator here. Okay, let's get started. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, grace, mercy, temperance, and peace watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay, so what do we have here? So, I thank you guys for your like, your shares, your subscribes. You are so awesome. I also appreciate you hitting that notification bell and clicking all. So you are alerted, because I'm going to start posting a lot more. Alright, now just for all the newcomers, this is definitely a general collective reading. Our blessing is for those that need enlightenment to be enlightened, and for those of you who do not need enlightenment, you're just here for the filth, you know. By all means, you know, tune in. We appreciate your energetic compliance too. Okay, so here we have the Hierophant. Okay, we have some in the major and minor arcana, but seeing as though we have more in reverse than we do in the upright is telling us that there's some kind of refocusing and reform that we need to engage in. Okay, so here we have the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, and you can note the 33 here. 3 is the number of the ethereal, right? Recognizing the ethereal help when it's presented. Now when it's multiplied, right, because we see 33 is divisible by 11, and when it's doubled, because we see 33 is here multiple times, it is really pushing to the forefront, seeing the connection between the spiritual and the physical. Okay, now how can you do that? By seeing the lessons. Everyone can see a story play out, but what is the message or the moral to the story? That is the spiritual connection in any storybook or any fable, TV show, whatever you watch, okay? And that's confirmation, and that's what we're kind of engaging in right here. We're seeing that there is some kind of lesson that's not being focused on enough, and we're being called to kind of gauge why. Okay, so the Hierophant represents conformity, both good and bad, and in the reverse here it's more symbolic of the negative attributes. Okay, so in the reverse, this card represents those who choose their own path. Okay, house cats aren't pack animals, you know. They like to be singular, they like to be the number one pet, and so usually they're a solo pet. And so because they're not pack animals, and even when there's other animals present, they're still very individualized. You're being called to do the same thing. Okay, so they are calling you energetically to mirror their independence. The issue with this is your independence is going to be a lesson to those around you. So in a sense, you are breaking from the normal patterns, the consistency people are used to, and you're showing them a different way. But this is your calling to break away from it. You're not yet doing it, and so the ethereal is kind of pushing you into that. Now, why isn't that happening for you? Well, we can see here by the Strength in reverse that maybe there's a bit of lounging, right? Reclusiveness that is happening. And what do I mean by reclusiveness? I mean lacking motivation, lacking courage, or lacking proper support. Okay, so the Strength card notes that everyone gets tired. Okay, but even in those lulls, it should be a momentary rest, right? A momentary halt, so that you can spring back into action, right? It's kind of like if you were on a roller coaster, right? That dip right before you begin the acceleration so that you can topple over the next hurdle, the next mountain, or the next loop. Okay? So in the reverse, it's just a reminder to draw in on the strength that lies dormant within us. Okay? So we may forget sometimes that our intestinal fortitude, right? The intensity of our soul, our internal self, can create energy out of nothing seemingly. Why? Because it can pull on the ethereal, can pull on the spiritual to assist the vessel, which is our body, to hold more weight, to hold more pain, or to push through seemingly impossible scenarios. Okay? But you're being called to tap into that. Okay, so right now you're moving as this meek individual who wants to fall in the crowd and not be at the forefront. But you have a spirit that is attached to a spiritual contract where your ranking is so much higher than how you're playing in the 3D, how you're playing in this material world. Okay, so we need your physical vessel to match the spiritual power, the spiritual essence you hold. Okay, how do you do that? You break away from the patterns right now that are destroying you. You just don't see it. The patterns that are keeping you in a comfort zone. Okay, and you are now embarking on a path where you are the leader for others to follow. Okay, it's going to take intestinal fortitude. It's going to take you remembering the part of you that is not in this 3D, the part of you that's so much larger than this life, to draw on that strength. Okay, now once you're able to draw on that strength, then we see here, right, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Now what's so great about acknowledging that once we draw in on a particular strength, we can then capitalize off of it. There you go. So how do we capitalize off of it? Well, in the upright, this card is a symbol of peace, satisfaction, and it is talking about limitless possibilities. Okay, which just means like your diligence is going to be rewarded, like this cat with the treats over here, and then having kind of like an additional treat, a live treat, not to like feast off of, but in the sense of entertainment. It's kind of like their TV with their meal, if we want to put this in layman's terms, like in human terms, right? They're able to watch TV and eat a meal. It's like they're being subtly rewarded with what their dreams, consist of. Now, cats are simple. If the max of their dreams is what's right in front of them and they're offered that, just imagine what it's going to feel like for you to have the ultimate pinnacles of your dream unfold for you. Okay? So your right to feel secure, your right to feel encouraged, your right to feel the positivity that's associated with. Oftentimes when we go through hurdles and we're pushed to embark on a new path, you feel like it's going to be a trying one. You feel like it's going to mirror some chaotic or traumatizing scenario that you've had once in your past. No, you are now at a stage where those scenarios were stepping stones, lessons in a sense, that 33 lessons for you to understand how to be adaptable in this new life you're embarking on. Okay? And as you're embarking on this new life, the rewards are going to come in. Now when the rewards come in, you have to be weary of the Knight of Cups here. Now why do we need to be weary of it? Well, in the upright, it should symbolize, positivity. Like it's an awesome thing. The issue is, and I'm going to keep saying it like that, like the issue is because we're noting the balance in all that we're doing. Okay, so even though this is in the reverse, we saw that the balance is you are an individual, a unique person that needs to embark on that, right? Even though this is in the reverse, we saw that the strength is laying dormant. You can access it at any time. It's just up to you to have the awareness and the discernment to tap into the strength when it's most necessary, right? For you to receive the glory over here of the rewards and pinnacles. But what is the contrast to that? Well, gluttony is not a good thing. So even in this cat toying with this bird and playing with this bird, at any point, if this bird becomes erratic, it will lose out on the opportunity to watch it as if it was TV. At any point, if this cat becomes gluttonous, they won't have the treats so easily at their disposal. If they become a little bit erratic and push the treats over, now they would have to eat off the floor. They know that in order for the rewards to be rewards, they have to minimize their impulses. Okay, so they kind of have to maintain a plume, right? They have to maintain a certain upright status so that everything else can unfold positively around it. So this is all about matching frequency. You can't get the rewards unless you have the frequency of someone who would accept, or something in this matter, who would accept the rewards. Okay? So here we have this Knight of Cups, right? And it's in the upright. The Knights show up when there's a declaration to be made, okay? And when we mean by declaration, it's not only to those around you. Like, it could be you by yourself in a safe space and you are declaring to yourself XYZ. Okay, like, it's just you focusing your energy on an intention and making sure that it is known, at least to you. Okay, so we have this owl over here. Now, normally I have my owl out on the board, and notably it's not out right now, but still in the reading we see the wisdom that is necessary for this to unfold. Okay, so when we're talking about wisdom, it is knowledge with discernment. Okay? Knowledge with discernment, and that discernment has action. So when you're being wise, you're using particular information in a particular situation in a particular way to elicit what? The best outcome. In order for you to do that, you not only have to listen to your internal voice, like this owl is in the background, you have to also listen to the voice of those that are around you. Okay? So if your world externally is a reflection of who you are and how you are internally, then you are being called to see externally what points of wisdom you are nurturing, or what points of wisdom you are neglecting. Okay? In you doing so, you're able to kind of hone in what you need to break away from and what you need to refine. Okay? Kind of makes your path a little bit simpler. I said a little bit, maybe not a lot of it, just a little bit. Okay? So in order for wisdom to truly play out, right, and in a way that is humble, agreeable, graceful, there has to be a level of patience that's associated. Okay? So we see that this cat is in an owl container. Like, I just noticed that the bowl that it's in is also an owl. So not only are they around, right, in a frequency where there's so much wisdom, they are partaking in the wisdom. You also see the owls down here. They're partaking, they're being nourished by the wisdom, right? And at this point, we can say symbolically, they're choosing to be nourished by what would offer the most wisdom, okay? Because out of all the owls in this image, the largest depiction is on the bull, okay? So what can that mean symbolically? There could be people in your life that offer wisdom here and there. There could be people in your life that offer secluded wisdom. So their wisdom is only in their craft. And other people can offer wisdom in their personal life, in their craft, in their business life, you know, just socially, generally. And there's others that can not only show and offer that wisdom, but can teach you how to offer that wisdom to others. Okay? And we can see that this cat, right, is so focused on the energy that can show him all those, or her, all those different forms of wisdom, but then also how to teach others. Okay, we can get that because when you're eating something, not only are you nourished by it, but it goes all the way through you. So one end, you know, the food enters, and then the other end, the food exits. So what are we saying here? Well, the wisdom over here is just something to look at. The wisdom over here is something to admire. But the wisdom that is being offered here is so purposeful that not only do you have to intake it, you have to digest it and be able to let it out in a way that causes no harm to you and others. Okay? So if we're talking about wisdom, you're an experience, you learn the trade, you learn, you know, the pros and cons of everything, and then once that is retained, someone else walks up to you, you're able to offer that information in a way that guides them away from the troubles that you had. Doesn't guide them toward the same battles, like, oh, I'm just letting you know this is going to happen. Instead, you're like, well, this is what happened to me. If I were able to do this in this type of way, maybe it would have been a little bit better. So I'm offering it to you as an alternative so that you can avoid the situation that I had to walk into. Okay? And that's a great way of showing wisdom across the board, no matter what situation that you're in, right? Offering a better situation to others than what was offered to you. Okay, but that can only happen through this 33. Again, the lessons being learned, having the strength to know when and where to utilize it, seeing that the rewards are around you and partaking in them. And the rewards could be the people that can offer you wisdom, that can push your life in a better way. Why? Because then we see all this wisdom here being offered, and you doing what is necessary to partake, right? And partake in a way that's kind of like gorging yourself, not in a way that is you know, every so often like you would with a treat, because you're savoring the treat. Whereas with wisdom, you want to intake as much as you can so that you have enough resources when the time comes to execute the way that is necessary, right? Okay, now we have this Empress in reverse. So 28 here, the 2 is believing and 8 is forgiving. So if you're not forcing someone to believe the falsehood, then maybe someone else is forcing you to believe a falsehood. Okay, and as an Empress, you have to have a certain level of discernment to know when you are being led astray or when you can potentially be led astray. Okay, this card is asking you to regroup. Okay, regroup and refocus. Why? Because even though the divine is going to reward you for moving on this new path and being the leader for others to follow with wisdom, okay? You don't want people following you and you're talking between your cheeks. Like, no, you're speaking with the utmost respect, and so you will get that in return. But note, you're pulling people out of their karmic patterns. You're pulling people away from their negativity. You're pulling people away from their comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is negative. So in the process of you wanting to teach and navigate others, it is really you teaching and navigating yourself and allowing others to, I don't want to say peer into your life, watch your life, but in a sense like see how you're progressing and kind of emulate that, right? See how you're moving forward and see if their feet move forward in a similar way, if it's possible. Okay? So what I'm gauging here, that even though this is a mission where you're constantly interacting with people in the external, you're really being called to focus on your individual path. Okay, how are you showing up? How are you visualizing something? How are you articulating something? How are you being shown in this world, regardless of what's happening around you? Okay, whether people are giving you kudos or whether people aren't. Now, I like to get into the nitty gritty, so we're gonna kind of find out some living room energy. Yep, it's all about seeing how you, your family is going to show up in this. There's also something about a front or side yard. Now, we're going to call this the backyard beat because that's kind of where I am right now. In the backyard, I see all these readers now doing car chronicles, and I think it's so super cute. But you know me, I got to be different. So we're doing the backyard beat. And we're going to figure out here how you need to show up in the world when certain things happen, okay? Because we already know that you are being engulfed right now. You are kind of like in a fishbowl. Everything you do is being seen, okay? Not even if it's not by like actual physical people, it's being seen by the ethereal realm. Why? Because you're chosen. You wouldn't be listening to this reading. You wouldn't be a part of this reading. You wouldn't be called to even listen as far into this reading if you weren't chosen, okay? So because you're living in a fishbowl, you're being called to be chipper. All right, I wouldn't say don't act like things don't bother you, but I'm really seeing more so like always act like everything's all right. There's always a resolution to every problem. And so even when you want to get pissy, or you know, I don't have a cry card, this is my cry card. So, you know, your lymphatic system, purging your lymphatic system, maybe something about a romantic thriller, whatever the case is, you know, just remain chipper, right? People are fishing for some kind of excuse to remove you from your path, all right? But just know that the battle has ended. Okay, the level of confidence that certain people had in regards to being outlandish, because we're getting colors here, so you can Google the color symbolism if you like, but just generally, pink is a symbol of confidence, right? Orange is a symbol of boldness. Baby blue is a symbol of like a nurturing calmness. Okay, so think of like if you're by the water side but you have your toes in the water, like, and you just it's like that kind of vibe. Now we can also attach this to the chakras, but I'm not really being called to do so. With this bold confidence that's kind of pushed out of the way. Why? Because we need internal strength, the strength to maneuver our actions, change our perceptions, things that, you know, maybe aren't seen very easily with the naked eye. Okay, we're being called to do those things. We're not being called to show other people this and show other people. It's all internal work. Okay, so it's that getting back to yourself, right? So baby boo being sleeper knocked out. Now I'm gauging when you're going to sleep tonight, you're going to exactly refine your power. So your hair is your connection to the ethereal realm, okay? And your connection to the ethereal realm involving power, okay? Your spiritual power. So in order for you to tap into this spiritual power, you need to what? Be sleeped, so that you can go through this baby blue healing. Now, when we talked a little bit earlier about the colors, I said, you know, I'm not really feeling chakras, but with this baby blue by itself, it's totally the throat chakra. We're talking about how you exchange your internal world with the external world. And the easiest way to do that is vocally. Okay, so in order to refine what you would say, you have to refine your thoughts. You have to refine your perception. And outside of meditation and sitting with the moon and listening to your ancestors and guides, the easiest way is going to sleep and letting your dreams offer you the information that is going to, in the quickest way, lead you down the path that increases your spiritual power. Okay, because the thicker your spiritual power, the thicker your hair, the thicker your physical power, right? Because the spiritual trickles down into the 3D. Now, someone might be thinking about murder, but the battle has ended. Okay, just know that people have to think about their image. Okay, that's what I'm getting by this gray. Like, things were originally black and white, but now you kind of have to move in that in-between area, but you're not really happy about moving in that in-between area. That's kind of what I'm getting here by this gray. Okay, so the murder has subsided because people have to think about letting go of toxic waste. Okay, so we talked about with the Knight of Cups how you are taking in this information, right? But in order to take in this information, you have to digest it, aka analyze it, and poop it out, aka use your throat chakra to offer the information to other people in a way that can teach them, or offer the information to the world in a way that you let the universe know you learned your lesson. Okay, so while this person or this energy or these energies have to kind of go through, what do I need to heal from? What do I need to let go of? Okay, how am I moving that is not becoming of me? They're seeing that the people around them emulate those things that they want to let go of. And so now they see the path of pushing the strength in a different way, right? Moving to where the rewards are. And the rewards are spiritual rewards, because the ethereal realm is offering you recompense for your energetic compliance, right? And I say that all the time, but what does that really mean? It means that your energy is saying, yes, I am supporting change. The intention for my actions is to do this. Your energy speaks before you do, right? Your energy tells a lot about you before you even walk into the room, and that's what you're being called here to do, right? Refocus your spiritual energy so that when you have random thoughts, they're just positive, because your perception has changed. Your DNA has changed, your genetic makeup. And that can only really change if you go to sleep, so your body can rewire itself. But yeah, I'm seeing that this Aquarius energy is moving more in a regal light, probably because of some kind of restructuring. So we see the chiropractor or spa, you know, if you're talking about your spine or you're talking about your nervous system, you know, it's all about realignment. Okay, so this Aquarius energy is moving more in digesting the wisdom that's around them and really analyzing it so that they can move in a more positive vibrational light instead of a negative one, right? Because what is the major purpose for all of us? To be purple, okay? To be in our north node, to be regal, to be fun and lively and be happy in the color of togetherness, even if it's not romantic, but the color of togetherness, okay? But that would take some restructuring, and your spine is the connection to your limbs, is the connection of action. So in order for you to be regal and royal, you have to move and act like it. You just can't speak like it, okay? So it's the transition from you changing your perception, changing your mind. And how can we see that? By seeing the minor shifts in your vocalization, the minor shifts in what you focus on and how you focus on it. Now, once we see this verbal change, your actions, you know, talk the talk, walk the walk, your actions are going to follow suit. And that's where this chiropractor spa comes in. Now we're realigning your spinal cord, right? That alignment is going to make sure that all your nerves act in the best way possible for your body to attain peace and comfort. That's the same thing that we're talking about here, okay? So now that your mind and your voice box is pure, your actions will be pure too, and the ethereal realm will see full alignment in you and bless you according to that. Now don't get me wrong, you're gonna have a lot more trials and tribulations here, but don't let any physical thief, right? And I mean, they want to steal personal items from you. Don't let them steal from you, okay? It's a great time. Something says it's a great time here. Dine in. Straight bullshit. No reconciliation. It's hard fall. Purple Sagittarius energy. And I wanted to ring the bell. Okay, so I'm not sure. Ooh. Oh, passion. Okay, so even though we're talking about all this positivity, yeah, we're gonna open up a new reading. Yeah, we were going so positive, right? Seeing the positivity, right? Moving in the best light, and then murder is back on the table, and a romantic thriller that's gonna leave people pissy is gonna happen. Something maybe attacking this Sagittarius energy that is very royal. But hey, you gotta appreciate the good and the bad, because it's all gonna work out for everyone's highest divine purpose. Oh my gosh, what's about to happen? We're gonna open up a new reading. I'll see you soon.